Most guys will train for years and still look average. I'm sure you probably go to the same gym for a few years or a few months, and you've probably noticed you see the same familiar faces no matter what time you go to the gym at, but they never make any drastic changes to their physique or even their strength. And that might even be you. And it's not because you don't work hard when you're in the gym, it's because you're putting all that hard work into the wrong things. And this goes for inside the gym, but also your life outside of the gym as well. I've been training for over 14 years, and I've made every single one of these mistakes over my lifting journey. And when I was smaller, I was doing everything wrong, and I want to give you guys the information so you can avoid these mistakes and build a really good physique within like 3 to 4 years. And I'm talking an elite level, superhero looking physique. The truth is, building a great physique is actually really simple, but it's extremely uncomfortable in the beginning. Staying soft and weak is mildly uncomfortable, but it's a much easier option to go to rather than putting in the hard work to build a great physique. The reason you're not as jacked as you want to be isn't because of luck, it's not because of your genetics, and it's not because you haven't implemented this new program or exercise. Being wise or smart is not about knowing everything, it's about knowing what to avoid, and this goes the same for every single aspect of your life, but especially working out and getting jacked. One of the biggest mistakes I see consistently is people program hopping, or they hear about this new science-based study that says 52 sets per week is going to help you grow muscle, or you need to do this specific exercise to grow your lats, and that's going to be the game changer in your physique. The truth is, there is no secret program or routine or style of training that is going to completely explode your gains unless you're doing something completely wrong. Really, what you need to do is do the basic fundamental exercises. To name a few, we're talking like RDLs, a barbell row, an incline dumbbell press, lateral raises, overhead press, a squatting pattern. If you just do these basic exercises and get stronger and more skilled at them over time, that is how you're going to build a great physique and a good foundation. At the end of the day, working out is a skill. You have to learn how to get better at connecting to your muscle and actually getting the most out of every single set and rep. And as I said, this goes for literally anything you're trying to get good at. If you walked into a boxing gym, the first thing they're going to start teaching you is footwork before you even start throwing punches, and then they're going to teach you a jab and a straight right. They're not going to be teaching you any of this crazy bobbing and weaving Mike style type fighting or how to duck punches with your hands down. No, you need to get good at the basics. Then you can start branching off that skill set and start implementing those fundamentals and basics you've learned and applying them to other areas and branching out your skill tree. So what you need to do if you're trying to pick a program is, first of all, pick one you can actually stick to. Like, realistically, look at your life, audit how much free time you have. If you can only go 3 or 4 times a week, that's more than enough to make great progress, and you just need to make sure you actually enjoy going, so you look forward to every session and you can go in there and you feel the lifts. You have a good connection with them, and you just keep the same exercises on the same days in the same order with most of the time the same amount of sets. Unless you can't recover, then you should probably lower your sets, but that's a whole nother video. And then just keep doing those every single week and keep progressing. When you can't progress, just do a different variation of that same movement. Let's say you're doing incline dumbbell press for 5-6 months, you gain 20 pounds on it and you can no longer progress. Weight is starting to stall out, you can't add any reps. Switch to a different variation like an incline machine press, and then progress that, and then go back to your dumbbells. It's really that simple. You don't need to overcomplicate things. And this is called shiny object syndrome, and this is one of the biggest killers of any type of progress, because you're doing something that's working, you just haven't stuck to it long enough to see really good results, and then you say, oh, this is going to work better, I'll go try this, but you keep repeating that process over and over again, and you're not actually sticking to it long enough. Realistically, especially if you're trying to build muscle, it's going to take you multiple months, probably 3 to 6 months to see really significant results. And this isn't to say you should be super dogmatic and not change your approach at all, but I think what you should do is stick to a base plan and make small changes along the way to see how your body actually responds, because if you make too many changes at once, you don't know what's causing more progress or less progress. We want to eliminate as many variables as possible and know exactly what our body responds to. The longer you do something and the better you get at it, you start realizing it all comes down to simplification and making it as easy to follow and progress as possible, and that usually means sticking to the basics. The second thing holding you back from your dream body is you hold yourself to too low of a standard. You believe it is difficult to get in shape, therefore it's going to be difficult. But if you just hold yourself to a higher standard and believe everything is easy and it's going to be seamless, it's going to feel that way. And this really comes down to how much effort you're actually putting into the things that move the needle. What actually is going to make us more progress? 1, training consistently and actually training hard. Majority of people train like pussies. I'm sorry to say it, but I go into the gym, most people do not push themselves whatsoever, and they have many more reps and energy left in the tank. And number 2 is most people aren't tracking their food. This takes about 10 to 15 minutes per day. And once you do it for 5-6 months consistently, you're not even going to need to track your food, because you're going to be able to look at what's on the plate and understand how much food you're actually eating on a day-to-day basis. You need to start viewing yourself as someone that already has a good body and already does these things on a day-to-day basis no matter what. And then it will become 10 times easier. You need to view this as your bare minimum. This is just the standard you hold yourself to, and you're going to accomplish it no matter what. And that goes for training hard and tracking your food. Majority of people you know go to the gym 5 to 7 days a week, but they don't train hard. And there's a huge difference between going to the gym, going there with purpose and intent. We need to increase the tension on the muscle over a long time period. How do we do that? By actually increasing the weight and the reps. So what you need to start doing is tracking your progress. The same with your food. This takes a few minutes every single workout. Just put down what you did last week in your notes app. Okay, you did 100 pounds for 10 reps. Next week, you're going to do 110 pounds for 8 reps. And you just keep doing that week over week. These things are not difficult, guys. If you can't do this, you have much bigger problems than going to the gym and getting a good physique. This is the most basic things. You don't need discipline. You don't need motivation. You just need to do the fundamentals. So from now on, what I want you to do is go to the gym, track how much you're lifting, try improve on that every single week, even a micro progression. Even if you get the same amount of reps with the same weight, but the form is slightly better, that's improvement. You get a better mind-muscle connection, you probably put more tension on the muscle, therefore it's going to lead to more progress. And next, I just want you to track your food. Make sure you're eating enough protein, which is a gram of protein per pound of body weight, or slightly more, and make sure you're getting enough calories, whether you're trying to lean bulk, or cut. Lastly, the all or nothing approach, which majority of people do, and honestly this is probably the saddest one. And this is where you go super hard for, let's say, 6 to 10 weeks, however long it is, and then you end up falling off for a year, 6 months, however long it is. Basically, you're getting all motivated, you go to the gym for a little bit, you start seeing some results, you get content, and then you fall off. Not only do you have to see what you're actually capable of, you saw a little bit of progress, you saw a minute amount of potential, and now you have to look in the mirror every single day and realize you are way below what you could be and what you already have been, so you're literally on a decline. Getting jacked or being successful at literally anything is all about patience, and I guess you could say boredom. Doing the same things, monotony, doing the same things over and over and over again. It's interesting because with going to the gym, building a good physique, people are so afraid to keep doing the same thing over and over again. But guys, how do you think people like Ronaldo, who are at the top of the game for decades, get good? They do the same things every single week. They do the same drills, the same practices, and they just keep refining that skill over and over again. But if I told you to go play the video game where you click the same button 100 times for 8 hours a day, you'd be more than happy to do it. But imagine the benefits you could get if you actually built a good physique. More presence, more confidence, more opportunities in life, more dating potential. I mean, the list is literally endless. It's going to improve every single area of your life, yet you'd rather just do it in some virtual game, or you'd rather play a recreational sport. I mean, don't get me wrong, those things can be fun, but the value you can get from building a good physique is going to be 10 times more. Getting jacked is simple, but most men will never accomplish it because being average is easy. What you need to do is learn the fundamentals as fast as possible and have the right vehicle for success and progress. And that's why I created my one-on-one coaching. If you guys want to book a free call down below, we can talk about your goals, come up with a game plan, and make sure you reach your dream body within the next 4 to 6 months.